Good afternoon. Welcome back to the to the Upper North Island Secondary Schools tournament, and our B grade final will be between Waitakere College and Tauhara College. So going to be a really interesting clash. Going to be interesting to see whether we're now going to get again a step up from the C grade final, which in the end was comfortably won by the Bay of Island College. Slight change in commentary. I'm Yvonne Willering, and now I'm going to be joined by Julie Calman-Poto. Lynette Brady has gone off to do more wonderful things. Actually, those prize giving for that C and D grade, so she has other duties. So going to be an interesting clash. Haven't seen a lot of either of these schools. Julie Calman-Poto has been involved with the Christian College, so I'd like to just talk a little bit about just how she's found the tournament, appreciating that all her games have been outdoors, and so now suddenly for the finals we're going indoors, and that would have been a challenge in itself. So welcome, Julie, and it's all yours.
Wow, thank you. Yes, a challenging week with the weather. It was going to be worse than it actually said on the weather forecast, but it turned out not so bad, just with a torrential downpour on Tuesday, which was fabulous. UNISS is always a tough tournament. You lose one and you're dropping down to the middle, but Christian College had quite a tournament, so that was great. And now, yes, the joy of the inside.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with these teams. Some of these players won't have been indoors before, so that itself is an interesting factor. Also, really, we've been talking about the umpires, obviously young umpires as well, and they have been also umpiring outdoors, so suddenly it's a totally different concept being indoors, and I guess now far more spectators as well. So the pressure of a final is going to be on the players, it's going to be on the umpires, and also because the crowd's now part of this whole package. So it's also about how you basically deal with that aspect as well in your game. It's not just about you, it's about your school, but it's also about everyone else that's surrounding it.
Yeah, and a lot of the teams, say from a B grade, will now come in and actually support the B grade finalists because they've all played each other, basically. And it's a great camaraderie.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit missing from club competition. I mean, in the good old days, you used to always watch, even your top team, if you're a lower team, you'd stay and watch that. You're watching everyone else in action. And I think that's something that's certainly come through in this Upper North Island, and also just the crowds and the spectators. And they get involved, we saw it before, it's about not just about the netball team from a school, it's about school pride in itself. And I just think it's wonderful to see, and I hope we never lose that.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, so many teams here, so many grade. There's A to D grade, and it really doesn't matter what grade you're in because you're playing against teams that are really your level, or you're going to go up, or you're going to go down. But it's so enjoyable, and actually, it's just full on for all the kids. I mean, it's 10 games in 5 days.
Teams just being introduced out on court. This is the Waitakere College team that's just coming out on court now. Really interesting to see. Look at the team, the opposition standing hand by hand, and again, it's that camaraderie coming together. But everyone knows this is the big final, and this also determines, obviously, for next season as to where you all sit in the competition. So, it's been a tough week for players, and some of them will have played, some of these coaches probably will have played a main lineup as such. Others will have utilised all their players in a way, just trying to get through to the final competition. I guess sometimes though during the days you have strong competition, so as a coach, and you were there in that capacity, is it a question of do you want to try to win every game, or you're trying to rest players for set games, and how did you feel about that? Well,
UNISS is a unique tournament, and if you rest your players you don't get through, so you actually have to have a strong 7 and are playing 7 or 8. I mean, we look at Tauhara, they were in the C grade. They were the bottom of the B grade when they came in, and now they're finalists. So they've moved straight through the B grade, and so I would doubt that they have saved anybody. And you can't afford to.
So this now, with this final, this is really, you're playing also for the pride factor. I mean, and fitness has to come into it. We spoke earlier about some of the injuries. I mean, outdoors, in the weather, that doesn't help circumstances anyway. And with these numbers of sheer participating out on court, you are going to get a set number of injuries anyway, aren't
Absolutely.
you?
I believe there were 5 broken arms yesterday, broken hands, broken wrists. So, it is actually survival of the fittest in this tournament.
Yeah, which means now teams have to also look at like their warm-ups, their recoveries and everything else. So in a way, whilst it's only school sport, that is all part of it. It isn't just about the action on court. It's also about the recovery work you do and the stretching, everything else that accompanies it as well.
And the fitness before the tournament, the working together. It is a full-on tournament. There are some tired bodies out there now.
Right. Okay, so the Waitakere team is in the light blue and they've just scored their first centre pass. It was a good start from them. Darker team is Tauhara College.
And again, Tauhara started as bottom of the B grade because they came up from C grade this year, and now finalists, which is a fantastic result for them. Because, of course, the top 5 teams will go up to A grade next year, so they've actually breezed through the B grade.
So it'll be interesting to know how many of these players that are playing now were there last year.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that also comes into it, you know, that continuity from year to year. And not that you want the whole necessarily need the whole team, but it's still, you need some of those senior players that know what it takes to play for the whole week, you know, what the recovery is about. And also, you actually can't save yourselves for a final. You have to get to the final first.
No, that's right. And you look at with talking about retention of players, you know, Whangaparoa 3 years ago, they had all year 13s, and now they were in A grade, and now they're in possibly B to C grade now. So it is big. In Kristen College, we have 7 year 13s this year. So again, but you've got to bring those younger players through.
Still slightly hesitant from both teams, but at least they are nailing their shots.
There's no holds barred there in that circle.
And again, the shooting, some of the shooting has been quite short. You know, it's hit the front of the net. I'm going, just shoot a little bit higher, and it's quite interesting to see how throughout the game they've become closer and closer shots. Have a look at this now. Waitakere College in a situation, managed to get the ball, need the turnover. This is an opportunity for them now to go 2 goals ahead. Good feeding of the ball. There's no hesitation, just going through to their shooters.
And
great
nice
finish, absolutely finished with a great shot from McCausland. Actually quite quick to get the ball down there.
They are, and their defense are working as a really nice unit as well from Waitakere.
Yeah, didn't really want to shoot that one.
No, she didn't.
And I'm surprised she just didn't play that ball out. Couldn't feed it to McCausland because she was actually being marked defensively, but actually could have played it out either to a centre or wing attack, and done it again. It didn't look like a shot she wanted to take. And really, I say to shooters normally, you know, take the shots that you're comfortable with, whether they're close shots or longer shots. Opportunity for Tauhara to actually come within 2 goals.
And Tauhara have had quite a good week. They beat Takapuna to get into this final. Takapuna Grammar, who were having a great week as well.
Yeah, good defence by Waitakere College. Again, not a situation where they're doing one-on-one. They're actually dropping into space a little bit more as well. Now, that could either be that they're tired or, in fact, that is the way that they're planning it. I'd like to think that's the way they were
Let's go with
it.
that's the way they're planning it.
Nice shot by Bradshaw. Goal attack for Tauhara College. It was a good dodge, but unfortunately it was away from the ball. Yeah, better. Never really wanted to take that long shot anyway. And then, again, because she missed, chose the option that she should have actually taken in the first place. But, you know, away to a 7-4 lead. Oh, hesitation.
Oh, there was that.
Yeah, it was
that
on.
Defense is nice.
It is. And again, they're marking the spaces. Yeah. That's Robertson Wiley, and I like the way that she looked at the goal, wasn't prepared to take a shot, passed it out and came again. But at least, you've got to, as a shooter or as a goal attacker, you've got to at least turn around and look to the post. Too many players make it their first option just to pass the ball out.
Yeah.
And I think as a coach, and you know that as well, it sometimes becomes, annoying in a way that they're not looking to the post first.
That was a good grab off there. Oh, nice finishing shot.
Confident, because that was quite a long shot.
It was.
But she was quite confident to take it. Good pass through. Yeah, good triangle play again, where the ball goes across and then in, and that displaces the defensive person. Rather than trying to get around to ball's side, let the outside players, your centre wing attack, do the work. Again, need to get a situation whereby you need to react to the umpire. Gage on that occasion, just too close.
Both teams willing to let it go, though. Nice intercept from Waitakere.
We were talking about the umpires earlier and how young they are, and obviously they're represented with the schools. But one of them actually, he actually also he umpires at club level, and it's been really interesting to see his development and honestly the confidence, but great calling as well. But he takes charge without actually taking ownership of the game.
And is that Kian from Whangaparoa?
Yep, and
he's on court right now, isn't he?
That's right. Yep. And it's just so good to see these younger umpires coming through. And, these are the ones we have to look after them, because we need our umpires. We can't go without them.
I can say that I have been umpired by him as a player, and he is exceedingly fair. He's direct. He's a great umpire. He's right there in our screen. Fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of calls being made at the moment. And again, players just need to really focus on the game. Some sloppy errors.
I think it's fatigue setting in.
Yeah.
10 games. I mean, the great thing is these teams have
Didn't
all
want to
made...
shoot it. Ooh. Yeah, great rebound, but she did not want to shoot that one. 11-6 to Waitakere College. Just over 2 minutes to go. Players should be aware of that.
Oh, nice defence. They're working together well.
Yeah, again, that was an opportunity where the outside attackers needed to be available. And again, loose turnovers at the moment. Yeah, good screen actually. A screen is whereby in that case, one of the shooters held the defender to allow the pass to go over her to the other shooter. And that was a very good screen. Again, patience being shown by Waitakere. Was prepared just to pass the ball around. McCausland then just basically did a hold, and really hard to defend that if you're really close to the player. On a holding player, you really need to move off her to enable you to come around. If you don't, the umpire will make the call because you are contacting. Yeah, good speed through the court. Oh, good
lovely.
flip. Yeah, and it was on the second jump.
It
too,
was.
which means that on that first jump, she still stayed within the correct distance. Too often, what players do, they make the jump and then they land within 3 and should be penalised. But she actually kept the distance. They will want to nail this one. Good work, good teamwork, good finishing off.
Tauhara is allowing Waitakere to get closer to that basket by just that over-defending call.
Again, but also notice that, they're not screening out for the rebound.
No.
The one thing defenders always need to do is make sure they screen out for the rebound so it doesn't give the shooter a second opportunity. Moment after the first quarter, 14-7 to Waitakere. So it's going to again be interesting. Waitakere, I would assume that they will go into the second quarter with exactly the same lineup. Tauhara College now is in a situation, do they make changes because some of the players are tired, or do they make corrections whereby they just basically, have a look at their own mistakes and just do something about it? Already you're looking now and there's bib changes happening all over the place. So I guess they're in a situation they're thinking some of the players are tired, so let's, provide opportunity to others. Now, people often say it's fresh legs. It isn't just about that. Sometimes it's also just change in tactics, change in ability. You can have like a holding shooter or a moving shooter. Defensively, you can have a really tight one-on-one player, or you could have someone that likes going out for the intercept. So depending how the game goes, it depends what's happening. But now you've got a situation, Tauhara College, with the score the way it is, they have to come out for some intercepts.
They have to look for something
cannot
different.
leave it until the second half of the game. It's just too hard for the players. And by then, I think fatigue will set in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, defensively, they might just need a little change in there to step up to do that screen out, or to come out for some intercept ball. Their shooting unit was working well. However, just not getting enough ball to it. But that defensive unit of Waitakere is very tidy. So they may need to look at having that change.
And that defensive unit is McCarthy and Kalati in there. But with the defensive unit that you're talking about there, it's also through the court, that they're actually doing it. Because if the attackers on defence, your McCauslins, your Cumminghams and your Thompson, if they don't set up defensively, that ball will still come down at speed. And as a goalkeeper goal offensive, that ball comes down at speed. It is really hard to intercept. So really, they're all doing their job. And now, obviously, Tauhara College now needs to show what they're capable of, and like you said earlier, they are capable of far better than what they're producing at the moment.
Oh yeah,
great triangle.
Maybe a factor of just tired bodies. I mean, a quick goal there from Tauhara, which proves they can get the ball down and they can get it in the hoop.
Yeah, and if they have a break, that actually will encourage them, and it'll just give them a little bit of momentum as well. Oh, great shot. Again, McCausland on form and is prepared to shoot from a great distance as well.
The Tauhara defence looked much more movable then as well. So and a break by Waitakere. He's going to give Tauhara the ball back. More penalties again, giving Tauhara that chance. Oh, and a defender now called outside the circle, so let's see if we can get a no screen on that one, but
yeah, only 5 in it though. You just do it. I know it's cliche, one at a time. That's the sort of errors you don't need.
That's right.
That was a gift, and that is the time. It's those crucial moments that are so important, particularly if you're tired. It's when you have possession, you got to nail it. And there was no excuse for that one. Yep, you could say Waitakere was in the right spot at the right time, but that pass should never have been given in that way. Never pass to a stationary player. It's just too easy for the intercept. But yeah, the defence work, like you indicated, certainly has picked up.
Certainly moving.
Yeah, but Waitakere ball, and that's the thing. They gained that possession of Tauhara College's centre pass off, so that gives them that ability to get 2 in a row.
Absolutely.
And that adds up. As you can see,
and not even worried to shoot now.
And now suddenly it's 17-10, whereas, when it's only 5 goals down, you've got your opportunities.
Yeah.
It's only 2 breaks. Just over 7 minutes to go in this quarter.
I have to say Tauhara are looking tidy down there, but they're just not gaining that ball. So their defence can pull out a few more little surprises. We may see them move up the ladder, but right now still 6 down.
Yeah, good hold. I was going to say, and a very confident shot.
Yeah,
and that was basically done within a couple of seconds, but very confident shooter. And it's a fact, if your shots go in, it lifts the rest of the team because they want to give you more ball.
Absolutely.
And there's an example of that. Now they want to make sure that they nail this.
And that should never have gone in, and she had 2 players. It's always going to be difficult. Smart play by Waitakere. Now 7 up, 8 up. And their ball again.
But see, quite happy to play the ball back and play the ball across. Slight push in the back there. But again, the interplay between the 2 shooters, McCausland and Cunningham, they've got a lot of understanding between them. And look at that confidence right then. Could have passed it in, but that she was capable of shooting
Absolutely.
it.
Doesn't even look like they're under pressure. And again, you're saying they're happy to play the ball around. They're playing it short and smart.
In contrast, have a look at the pace of the ball coming in down the court now. Yeah, good holds. They just need patience, but they also need the confidence just to let the ball go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was dangerous. Yeah, I was going to say here that now what I call overconfidence. They're trying to feed the ball to a shooter with 2 defenders on her. That was never going to happen.
Which didn't work down the other end, and no reason it would work down this one.
Yeah, again, see, just ball placement. And that's soul destroying. Like they've just lost the ball, and have a look at it. Both the goal attack and the wing attack looked at that, reacted to the bad pass, so then didn't do the defensive work. Unfortunately, that filters down the court because that means that the ball's now picking up pace by the time it gets down there, and the goalkeeper and goal defense are going to have a hard time trying to get it.
Which leads to...
They've just lack of confidence now.
Yeah.
And I think they're very aware of the score as well. And they really shouldn't be. This is only the second quarter. They've got half a game still to show why they are the team that they are in order to even get to this final.
That's right, how they've come through the B grade.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Waitakere looks so comfortable working with each other and coming through. They're happy to come hard on defence.
Yeah,
and
they're
play
playing
it short.
smart too, aren't they, really?
Oh,
They're not doing anything more than they need to, and, whether that's, again, a fitness thing or because they're very aware it's been a long week. But everyone is just doing their job and just getting on with it. And look at the easy shot, Now, a defender really needs to make that approach, make her pass rather than take the long shot. She's very comfortable shooting long at the moment.
Absolutely, it was a 3-second call.
Everything going the way of Waitakere College at the moment.
Tell you, momentum.
Yeah. This is the time, when the opposition team, Tauhara College right now, someone needs to do something spectacular to just lift the team. Now, if you look at it at the higher level, that's the time, like in Australia, for instance, that's when you have a timeout or someone has to go down. Something has to be done. Don't forget, with only 10-minute quarters, we haven't seen very much movement of players between the quarters. You know how you can have player changes within quarters. That hasn't really been happening, apart from the last game when it was like 2 minutes to go and they just wanted to play everybody. But apart from that, it hasn't happened. But right now, they're just getting into a rhythm. Certainly, Waitakere College is in a rhythm where everything's going for them, but unfortunately, Tauhara College is going the opposite way. And they're just going through the actions.
They are, and if you look at both teams, Tauhara has less player movement. There's more stationary players, and that is defining their game at the moment.
Yeah, better play. Good finish.
This Waitakere, there's somebody always available. Short and long. And no problems there, is it? No
In the zone.
problems there.
And see, I don't have a problem like at the moment. Like Cunningham's quite happy. She probably hasn't had many shots. I haven't got the shooting stats in front of me. Hasn't had that many shots, and she had the opportunity to shoot then, but she knew that McCausland's on fire.
Right.
You know, it's not a problem. It's not about who takes the shots. It's about the shots going in. You know, so if it means that Cunningham then, as a goal attack, if they then turn around and do more of the field play, then so be it. Not a problem. But if the goal shooter is being marked by two people, then I have an expectation that the goal attack will take over the shooting role for a period of time just to split the defenders off. Whilst that all was happening with 1 and 20 minutes to go, there has been a change for Tauhara College. I think that's a centre, change in the centre.
Centre and wing defence. So our changes were, yes, centre and wing defence. We've now got Arabella Marshall on as centre and Savannah Miller on as wing defence.
Last minute of play in the second quarter.
Waitakere really are easing that ball through quite. They're not really being stopped in any way. Or
Well, now, McCausland, have a look at it. If you looked at her patterns of the shots, she has a favourite position, and she tends to go to that. Now, you know, Tauhara College, the in-circle defenders need to be aware of that, and even if they stood there first, that she didn't have that space available to her.
now this
It's
is
pretty much there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
It's there and a metre to the left.
Yep.
Lovely dodge. Receive the ball and in.
Now let's see if Tauhara College is aware of the time factor.
And
No, they're not. Yeah, and that's just, again, lack of experience. The reason I said that, there was only 3 seconds to go. Even if they just dropped the ball prior to going into the centre circle, she had no idea of that, and that will come with learning, just youngsters, you know, so that comes with time. And that's really just, it's about being a smart netballer, I suppose, you know. You can't delay the pass, you can't just stand in there and delay it, but there was only 3 seconds to go, because even if she took the ball, stood in the centre circle, she should not have got penalised for a held ball, because, you know, there was only 3 seconds to go, or less than, by the time she got in there. So it's going to be interesting to see now if they're going to make substitutions, what they're going to do. Obviously, Waitakere College in a situation where now they can just focus on their game. They don't have to worry about the score, so long as they don't go protecting a lead. You know, they basically come out in the second half saying, listen, it's worked in the first half, let's just do the same, but do it better.
Yes,
Whereas
Tauhara
Tauhara College right now, they've done some really good things, you know, but they haven't been consistent. Their shooting has picked up, you know, so it's a situation. We can't tell that whether they're tired bodies out there, what's happening. Only the coach will know that, and the players. At the moment, I think they are making some changes. Whether they're tactical changes or whether it's almost a bit of survival, I'd like to think that they're tactical changes. This is a final. This is where an adrenaline should kick in. You know, this is the last game, so you want to really present your best.
You really do. But again, they have made the A grade, you know, top 5, bottom 5 move up and down. So they have actually made that grade, and they may just, let's see how we go when they get on there and who they put on, because they may just well be playing and getting the girls to have a last game. I'd like to see a little bit more fight. Hopefully that's not what they're doing, but
Hey, coach is pretty enthusiastic, and that's always good to see. You know, and they're together. I love it. Love seeing a team that's together, and you know, it's easy to be a total team when you're winning and the score's so much in your favour, but this is the time now for them to showcase what they've done. And I agree with you, you know, they've made it, and maybe they're satisfied, but I also believe that it's about performance, it's about the pride in performance, and I'd like to think they will go into this quarter showing why they deserve to be up as high as they are. first centre pass up with Waitakere College, like we said, because that centre pass was taken when they should have held on to it.
I'd say that just an inexperience on that one.
Absolutely. Both shooters out the circle.
And a good confident shot there. Let's see if Tauhara can bring it down. They've changed their shooter.
The shooter's come back on, actually. She was the starting shooter.
Oh, right. She's come back on and had a contact.
And their wing attack, has now gone to goal attack. She was actually the goal attack. Miller is obviously come back on because we've just got the substitution sheet, and she's come on as wing defence, goal defence, but she actually started the game as a goal defence. The wing defence is Marshall. I don't know if she's on before, but she certainly wasn't in that start.
She was on as centre before she came in. She was on as centre.
Right. And Kapua's gone on, and again, did not start the game. She's come on at centre. So they have made some changes. It's really been interesting. We've seen it with other teams. Wing attacks have gone into goal attacks. Goal attacks have gone into centre. So I guess at the school age, I don't think that players have got what I call specific positions already in mind. And I think that there is still, the experimentation, I suppose, as to where they should be going. And it's also good to see that a tall player isn't automatically a goal shooter, and if they're lousy at the shot, that they're going to goalkeeper. And I think that you shouldn't restrict it that way. Like when you get a short goal attack, they're actually really hard to defend. And there are opportunities. So let's not restrict players by basically their height or age, for that matter.
No, I agree with age, totally.
Good shot.
Good confident shot. That was a good change back then. So Tauhara now nothing to lose. They just need to go look for that ball.
But then on the other hand, you've got Waitakere College who is saying, well, we've got this game, and you don't want them slackening off. Again, players should be focusing on their performance out on court, not an end result.
Absolutely. And McCausland is just a pure shooter, isn't she? Just no problems looking, turning to the hoop and just putting it in. That's the kind of shooter we like.
There's a number of selectors out here over this whole week. Be interesting to see how many players from the lower grades get selected, because it's different there. You've got to look at those players and say, how would those players perform like at the top level? And it's very unfair to penalise a player who's playing for one of these teams to not actually look at them as well. So it's an opportunity to really look good as an individual in the lower grades, but I guess you've got to keep that in perspective with the higher grades as well. But I think at this age, it is about the skill factor.
Yeah.
Can you come through for an intercept? Can you shoot the goals, rather than how you work in combination with others?
Now, the great thing about the selectors is they know your number, but they don't know your age. So a lot of the younger ones that are actually looking better than some of the older ones there are actually getting through to the tournament teams. And I think when the tournament teams are announced this afternoon, you'll see that. I may know some prior knowledge of that. Right?
And I also like the fact there's quite a number of selectors, so there's no preconceived ideas. Like there's selectors and they have set thing, what they're looking for. But if you have quite a variety, and if everyone goes out and does their own thing, not just sit together and discuss things, I think then you get a greater view of what's out there. And,
well, rain, hail and shine this week. Those orange shirted selectors were everywhere. In fact, I'm pretty sure half of them will have pneumonia by the end of this week, because I saw some pretty damp selectors. But do you know what? Smile on their face, board in their hand. They were absolutely fantastic. But there were so many. There was at least 3. you looked up, didn't matter where you looked. They were everywhere.
I quite like the fact we're indoors today, though.
Oh,
Maybe I'm getting a little bit soft, but I don't do outdoors that often anymore. But I love the vision, like on a Saturday and also during the week this week, just seeing all the courts utilised, it's just wonderful.
there was look at the car park. Every car park has a van in it. So there are so many, it's great. So many teams.
Yeah, look at the movement then. What a shame that wasn't finished off, because that was brilliant movement by Waitakere College then, and getting that ball down the court. Great defence, actually.
It was
lovely. That was a really
yeah.
good lean. Absolutely, that was. That was Miller as a goal defence.
There has been a touch of a momentum shift. Tauhara is, and I say it, and there it is.
Yeah,
the curve.
And
okay, and we're back.
Yeah, but those are the things, that just frustrate you. Must frustrate the coaches, and I see that, and maybe obviously it's the age and the level of the competition, but it frustrates you when you know what. Oh, you can answer that as well. When you know what players are capable of, and they show it to you in parts, but it's not consistent. And schoolgirls netball is not about consistent netball, really.
Oh, it's yeah. It's about as consistent as the Warriors. It's terrible.
Right. Yes.
Sorry. Nice quick play in the circle, and it's in a goal to end.
Again, just a badly placed pass, but give credit to Waitakere as well. They're in the right spot at the right time.
They are.
And they are. They're working together as a team. Like, I look at this and you look at games and you go, now, who would be the player of the game? Now, if you have trouble selecting the player of the game, that's actually a good thing. Because it means you're working as a team.
See, my play...
But right now, you'd be looking at both shooters. Why? Because it's a stat that you can easily identify
100%. And one shooter is confident.
Yep.
Is showing a lot of confidence and turning and shooting, which is giving her team confidence. Oh.
Hey, how's that for an attacker being on defence?
Oh, you love attackers on defence, Yvonne.
Absolutely. See, that's quality ball that they've then earned, really.
Oh, but caught outside of the court, unfortunately.
More than slightly. But, who do you blame? Is it a bad pass, or did she just think the court was slightly wider than it was?
I'd like to think she thought the court was slightly wider.
Even I could have called that as an umpire. Good pass, though. Nice pass into space. They're not giving up. They're still right,
And again.
Yep. Just got to tidy up their movement. And also the attackers, in order to get free, that was better. They've got to make their movements prior, almost at the same time as the passer gets the ball. But you said they're waiting. By the time they get free, the pass has gone somewhere else. Oh, and she certainly wasn't.
And she wasn't even looking. Yeah.
No.
And fatigue does put your timing out.
Yep.
There's a lot of going behind the player and thinking you're doing something while you're dodging. No one else can see you. Even Waitakere is slower than they were in the first two quarters. Nice, Tauhara. Nice. Worked it down. Used both sides of the court. But worked down and a good confident shot at the end of it.
Yeah, defence work at the moment is a little bit token. Like, if you have a look at it, there's diagonals to be taken, but players are being caught just watching. In fact, some players aren't even coming down at the moment.
No. And defensive players are moving straight back to the circle and not looking out.
Okay, three-quarter time, 36 to Waitakere College, 21 to Tauhara College. So it's going to be an interesting last quarter, but both teams can strive to do well in this last quarter. Obviously, Waitakere College, be realistic, they have won the game. Can't see them, that it's going to be pegged back, but that doesn't mean to say that Tauhara College can't finish on a good note as well and just show what they're capable of. And they've got to overcome. They know it's only 10 minutes now. They might be tired, but this is when, your mental approach comes into it as well. And also it's about playing smart netball.
Absolutely.
You don't have to run around all over the court. Just be smart about it. And if everyone takes responsibility, then, collectively it'll happen.
Absolutely. We may see some... Yes, we've got bibs flying for Tauhara.
Yeah, and that's not a problem because, again, this is a situation you want to have absolutely the best performance out on court. Now, if players are really struggling, well, yeah, that's a time when you do have to make changes, obviously. I'd be interested to see the Waitakere College could do exactly the same. I mean, this is their last game together for a period of time.
It is.
They've got the game won. It's a big, big difference in the score lineup. So, realistically, they've got the game won. Even, like, if they make the subs and it's not working, they can change it back. It's not a problem.
I think they've stayed with their...
That's the other way of looking at it. If you stay with the people that you've got, they have earned the right also to be there. They have worked their butts off in order to get that advantage and to play that. So do you allow them then to finish it off? And I see coaches often saying, well, hang on a minute, they brought us through to this. They, the score line is the way it is because of these players. So that's why we'll play them again. Don't forget it's the last game. If this wasn't the last game, you might want to rest some of your key players for the next game. But this is the last game.
With a score difference like that.
Yeah.
But Waitakere, a lot of these girls may be year 13. So this will be the last game for their school, which for them will be, a sentimental moment. Oh,
absolutely, yeah. Some changes have been made. I'll let you read them out by Tauhara College.
Tauhara College, our centre is Pauline Wee. We've got Robinson in his wing attack, Preston in his goal keep, Gage in at goal D, and Kapua at goal attack.
The Kapua is new on. You've got the situation with
centre, just
okay,
before.
But before, Wee and Robinson, they were the other way around, and Miller and Gage were the other way around. So it's just, We've had no substitutions from the Waitakere being sent to us, so we're not sure if they've made any changes.
Tauhara are going to find they're going to find it tough in this quarter if they don't move. They're just standing and waiting for that ball to come to them, and often behind the player. Here we go.
And just as we speak, Waitakere
just
College
the goal attack. The goal attack has been changed for Waitakere College.
And Clark's now on. And that, again, is to provide an opportunity. This is nothing to do, that the combination they had was not good.
Was not working,
because it absolutely great.
Was.
But this is now about giving another person an opportunity out on court. And it is. It's a learning experience. You learn far more with being out on court than sitting on the bench. And you certainly learn from the bench, but it's got to be out there, You've got to feel it for yourself.
I like the fact that they've actually only changed one player. Now, one player doesn't destabilise your team, but 3 or 4 players could have. So they're actually extremely serious about the game, which is fantastic. But, they've just changed their goal attack. And it actually could just be the fact that she's a year 13. Better on defence for Tauhara there. The Waitakere taking quite a while to get down the court. Whether there's a big cheer here or not, she gets her first goal on court.
Nah, it just takes
medium
it in a stride.
Cheer. Medium
takes
cheer.
it in a stride. Yeah.
I was hoping for something larger, people.
Great drive.
Nice.
Should be rewarded for this one. Nah, Take it in the stride. That's good, though. I love it when you bring a player on, and people call them impact players. I don't. They're just another player out on court. But she adds value, and I think that's what always is required.
Absolutely. Nice shot from Tauhara, bringing them up to 22 points.
Yeah, just patience.
Waitakere certainly have good timing with each other.
And one shooter prepared to come out, help out, assist. But if it's one-on-one, again, good hold. Goalkeeper, I was just going to say, is about to get penalised. You cannot stay behind a player, especially if they're a holding shooter, and expect to get the ball. You've got to come around.
Nice defensive pick up by Waitakere. And they get it down. Good job, Tauhara.
Yeah, but with this ball, constantly going up and down court, that is also very tiring. So that's why I'm going, play smart netball, make sure it gets into your own players' hands. Time's being called, so obviously someone's about to make a substitution.
The goalkeeper.
And I would say this is they knew about this change. This is non-injury change. It's done by Waitakere College, changing the goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
And why not? 39-23 up. Again, opportunity to get some of your other players on court. What I like is that it hasn't been done, and you indicated that before, in mass, so that you don't lose continuity, and you still have your experienced players playing with the lesser experience, the ones that haven't been out on court.
So now we've got Harima Watts on as goalkeep.
Oh, yeah, that was hesitation all the way around. Now, see, do you blame the passer or do you blame the people for not coming towards the ball?
It's got to be a 50-50, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's hardly her fault if no one was there to get the ball.
Absolutely.
But was her vision open enough to see everyone? Could she have gone back up court? So clearly I'm blaming the passer. Oh, and actually...
time called, so another player...
and a new wing attack.
Yeah. And this is the way to do it. If you're wanting to bring all your players on rather than doing it all at the same time. And some people say, why are you doing it with 5 minutes to go? Hey, it's an opportunity, for players. And it just keeps the combinations going. So don't forget it was a wing attack. So would you put both a wing attack and a goal shooter back on at the same time? No, I think that puts too much pressure on the other remaining players around you. And again, you don't want to stop the flow of the competition. What would happen if they came on and suddenly, the goals went against you? They would feel rotten.
Absolutely.
And that's not the way you want to be introduced into the game.
And here we go, another time. Yep. I say we'll see all of this happen. Look,
I would say all the players that
all
were
of them
sitting
are coming on.
Yep,
Good
absolutely.
on them.
And again, now we've got a player added into actual defensive circle.
Oh, and our shooters come out to be centre. They're versatile players. I'm a shooter. I don't think I could come out and play centre.
Now, I would tend to agree with you on that one.
I don't have
just having the slight involvement.
Fibers. Yeah.
It's called an old girls team. Both defenders got caught out. It was a great fake, and would you believe it, both defenders, they mistimed their jump. Not the fact they mistimed their jump, that's not a problem. It's the fact that they got within 3 feet of the shooter. You can mistime a jump so long as you stay the correct distance, and then you can jump again. And we saw that in a previous game, and it was a beautiful tip taken. Man, the team changes are coming fast and strong to us at the moment.
Williams in at wing D.
McCausland, really interesting. Our little goal shooter for Waitakere is now playing centre. So that's quite interesting. And McCarthy has come on. McCarthy, who was a goal defence. Guess where she is now?
Goal shooter.
Exactly. And Williams is on at wing defence.
Really showing some versatility.
Well,
That's
it's
where I'm
quite
gonna
nice
go.
at this age, that you're not restricted to a particular position out on court. I mean, some of them will still want to make a decision. I know many, many goalkeepers that think they're so good as a goal shooter, but age goes against them.
I know many, many goal shooters who think they're a good goal shooter. So
Really?
but it gives them the choice. And again, for some of these players, it will be their last school game.
Yep.
Let's see, how are we going? Oh, beautiful shot by our recent goal defender. Who's now a goal shooter.
But to be fair, if you were selecting a team, whilst you like your specialist players, you also need versatility.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're only like naming 10 and 7 on court, don't forget, sometimes you need that player that can play more than one position. And certainly at this age group, and I've indicated that to players, don't restrict your playing options to just one, because unless you are the best, it's going to be hard just to select you. So you've got to have always another option. Normally it's a little bit different here, but normally, like if you're a goalkeeper, you could also, for instance, play wing defence. If you're a goal shooter, goal attack, you could play wing attack. Not often, though, do you go from a goal attack to a goal defence, for instance. So that's quite interesting.
I have to disagree with you on this one. My goal shooter, her second position is goalkeeper.
Yeah, at school age, but you wouldn't see
age.
it after school.
No, you wouldn't. My goal attack is my goal defence. So it is.
That's taking versatility to its degree.
to a new level.
42-26, Waitakere College is comfortably leading, and we've got a minute and a half to go. And the crowd's still excited, though, which is pretty cool to see.
And Tauhara is still positive on the bench
Absolutely.
Because, again, they have not lost anything here other than this particular game. They are now in the A grade.
Yeah, they've achieved what they were out to achieve anyway.
Well, they only came up from the C grade last year, so they definitely have achieved. They say at UNISS one of the hardest things is actually to get out and up from your grade. But no,
and they've done it twice.
Tauhara have shown us that it is actually extremely possible. And they are the smallest school in the Taupo area. They have Taupanui, who is actually the biggest school and close to them. But
so they're obviously doing the development work.
Absolutely. They're really working hard. Their netball, which we like to see. .28 seconds to go, and everyone's still going for gold. Okay, can Waitakere finish this? And there have been changes for Waitakere, but pleasing to say it actually hasn't changed the game too much. Oh, except if you catch the ball out of the court.
Yeah, I can't see this ball heading down for a goal. Good result for Waitakere College, 42-28. It actually is a well-deserved victory, but like you indicated, give credit to Tauhara College, who's come from the C grade into the B grade and just continued on. So, yeah, great achievement as well. And this is, like you say, it is just only one game. It is also about what they have achieved throughout the whole week.
Absolutely. They've managed to get their team to survive the week of UNISS. And well done. They are heading with Waitakere and 3 other teams up to the A grade next year.